welcome to the Cozy Mom Chats channel. My name is Rose Emily, mom blogger and life coach. Now, if you are wondering how in the world do I stop yelling at my kids? Gentle parenting is not working. I need other ways to calm down and communicate to my children without yelling. And you're also probably saying, I'm tired of yelling being my go-to way of communicating with my kids. I feel bad about it. I feel guilty. I don't feel good every time I yell at my kids. But somehow I just don't know how to stop or how to get my kids to listen to me without yelling. And you're not alone. Trust me, I've been there too, where yelling was literally my go-to. That's all I did, basically. And then at the end of the day, I felt bad. And not even bad. I was like, there has to be a better way, right? Like, there has to be a better way to parent with ease and joy instead of stress and burnout and frustration, right? Because for the most part, we yell because we're either frustrated, we're stressed out, or we feel like we are out of control. Like we don't have control of our kids or the situation. So we feel like yelling is going to give us that control back, which is not. But don't worry, because I have 5 simple ways where you can stop yelling at your children and actually be this calm and peaceful mom that you want to be. Okay, so tip number 1 is the pause, reflect, and respond method. So what you want to do is first stop, right? Take a couple minutes to just stop before you even yell, before you even say anything. Control yourself to stop. Take a couple deep breaths in and out. You can even count to 3, like 1, 2, 3, so you can calm down, so your body can start like relaxing, right? And not be so tense. 2, you want to reflect. Reflect on the way that you want to respond to this particular situation, right? So let's say your children are fighting over a toy in the car while you're driving and you're about to lose it. So what you want to do is just pause, breathe, and say, how do I want to respond? I don't want to yell, right? So let me communicate to my children what to do or not to do, or what are going to be the consequences if they don't stop yelling, if they don't stop fighting or anything like that, so you can stop yelling. So what you want to do is like pause, so it can give you some time to reflect on how you're going to respond to the situation without yelling. And then you want to respond in a better way, calmly, with patience, with ease, right? That is the pause, reflect, respond method. Tip number 2 is that you have a choice. You have a choice on how you want to react to things, right? So a lot of us feel like whatever, like we don't have control over our emotions. That's what a lot of us feel. We're not taught that we do have control of our emotions, that we get to choose if we want to yell, if we want to be stressed out, if like how do you want to perceive the situation and how do you want to react or respond to it. You have a choice, right? So tip number 2 is understanding that you get to control your emotions. You get to control how you react to things. You get to control how you want to think about a situation and about yourself in that moment, so that you can be a calm mom. So the more you say, you know what, I'm not going to yell. Like you telling yourself that, I'm not going to yell, I'm going to be calm. This is who I am right now, right? Choosing to believe that you're not an angry mom who always yells. Reframe those thoughts about you and tell yourself who you want to be instead. I am a calm mom who doesn't yell first, right? Knowing that you have a choice to believe who you want to be instead and then respond that way. Tip number 3 is really to acknowledge and be aware of your yelling triggers. What is causing you to do the situation? Is it your kid's behavior, right? Why are you stressed or frustrated? Because most of the time, the way that we react to our children, for the most part, is not because they're fighting. It's not because they're not listening that we want to yell. It's because during the day, we're already stressed out. We're already tired. We're already frustrated. Something didn't go our way. And it's like building up, building up, building up. And this one thing that our child does, we explode, right? So being aware of what it is that is causing you to yell it's causing you not to be patient, it's causing you to feel frustrated and incompetent, right? Like helpless, it's going to help you then be able to manage, be able to deal with the situation in a better way, right? So for example, your kids are constantly fighting and you don't know what to do and you want to yell. Instead of that, next time, tell yourself, okay, I can set some discipline. I can set boundaries. I can tell my children, hey, if you continue fighting, this is going to be the consequences, right? Be prepared for when all these things happen, right? It's not. So here's the thing, right? A lot of things that we're stressed out, we yell about, is usually happens over and over and over and over, right, during the day. It's not like, oh my God, this is new, I'm yelling. No, your kids do the same thing over and over, and you yell about the same thing over and over again. So you want to change that, right? That is a trigger. You're constantly repeating yourself. You're constantly dealing with the same thing, that you're tired, you're frustrated, so you yell more. Now realizing that, hey, I can set some boundaries. I can change the routine. I can change the way that I discipline my children in order to deal with the situation the way that I want to, which is in calmness, which is patience, which is just being more gentle as a mom. You can do that. Tip number 4 is a really good one. Kids learn by example. So if your children see that you are always stressed out, yelling, being moody, angry, they're going to adapt that same energy and reaction towards you. That's why sometimes you're like, oh my God, why they can't listen, why they're moving around, or why they're talking back to me, why they have this attitude. Take a look at yourself and self-criticize yourself and say, you know what? Yeah, I've probably been moody, angry all the time. I've probably been yelling at them all the time without realizing it. And don't shame yourself, but it's so important for us moms to start self-criticizing us and analyzing the way that we do things, the way that we think, the way that we react, because it is the best way that you're going to start changing that and being a better mom. Is when you realize that you're doing something that you don't like, that is not okay, that you want to change, right? Instead of blaming, well, my kids don't listen, that's why I'm always yelling. My husband doesn't help me, that's why I'm always stressed out and frustrated, and that's why I yell. Oh well. So you're blaming, putting the blame or putting the reason why you're yelling into someone else's hands, and not taking it back and taking accountability that, hey, maybe that's not the best way to get my kids to listen to me. So if you start to speak to your children in a calm way, more patient, I'm not saying this is going to happen overnight, but if you catch yourself, right, the first tip that I gave you, which is pausing, reflecting, and then responding, if you catch yourself, little by little, catch yourself more and more and more, like, hey, I don't have to yell, let me speak, let me be calm, let me be more patient with my children, you're going to see that they're also going to be more calm, that they're also going to listen to you more because you're not yelling. Some of us feel like yelling is like the way to get our kids to listen, but it's not. Try to have like yelling your last resort, and always try to be calm and patient first. Be, more in a loving voice first, right? Of course, be firm, but not yell, which is very different, right? Being firm and yelling are totally different things. So again, tip number 4, that is, in order for you to stop yelling at your children, for them to actually listen to you, model the behavior that you want your children to have, and it starts with you. And last but not least is tip number 5, which is take care of yourself. If you're always running out of fuel, you're always like, your cup is always half empty, you're not going to be patient, you're always gonna like live in chaos, and you're always gonna be stressed and overwhelmed because you're not taking care of yourself. And then you probably say, what does that have to do with me yelling? Well, it has a lot of things to do with you yelling as a mom, because don't you yell more when you're stressed out and overwhelmed and super tired and feel like, oh my God, I don't have control of anything, I can't even take a break? You tend to yell more. You tend to lose your patience more at your children. And the reason behind it is because you're not filling up your cup. You're not taking care of yourself. You're not doing something for yourself. And I always say, the beginning of the day, always ask yourself, how can I take care of myself today? What can I do today for me to regain energy, right? To have more energy, to feel good about myself, to just feel at ease and peace. What can I do? And the moment that you realize that, hey, taking care of myself is not selfish, it's actually something good for me and my family, and you're gonna see how more patient you're gonna be. You're going to see how, you know, present you're gonna be with your children, and you're gonna see how you're going to be yelling less and less and less. Now, mamas, I hope you enjoyed these tips. I hope you put into practice. Let me know which one resonates with you the most, or which are you going to try. Now, I have a free no more yelling tracker down below. Make sure you download that. It's really cool because you're gonna track how many times you yell during the day, the reasons why you yell, and what are your thoughts when you're yelling or when you're about to lose your mind, right? And then you're able to change that and flip it around. It's life-changing. It's super helpful. Download it down below. And that is it. No more yelling for moms. This is the solution. I will see you next time.